Hi, and welcome to episode 71 of M1 Yarns and the Michigan Makers Podcast. This is a mostly knitting related podcast, sometimes a little spinning, sometimes a little bit of yarn dyeing kind of stuff, all within the fiber world generally. So if that is your jam, please stick around, maybe grab a warm cup of something and your project, and let's chat. I'm Jamie, the dyer behind m1yarns.com, and if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, and thanks for sticking around. In this episode, I have a topic, a specific topic I'd like to discuss, and I've wanted to do topical videos for quite some time, and never necessarily either got around to it for whatever reason or what have you, but I've been having this particular idea brewing in my head for quite some time. And I just got home from vending at a fiber festival, the Northern Michigan Fiber Festival to be specific. This is in Alpena, Michigan, which, if you're familiar with the shape of Michigan, unless I'm flip-flopped on the screen. So the way I'm looking at it, the thumb of Michigan is here. Michigan looks like a mitten, the lower peninsula of Michigan, and Detroit is about here. And Alpena is somewhere like right up here kind of thing. But if I'm flip-flopped, then let's do it here. I can never remember if I'm flip-flopped on YouTube or not. But anyway, so I have in my mind fresh ideas about tips and tricks for your first fiber festival as an attendee. I won't go into tips and tricks for new vendors because that's a whole other video. But I meet a lot of people in my booth who say to me, hey, this is my first fiber festival. And that to me is super exciting. But I always kind of get this look from people that's like, I'm overwhelmed. And I myself was overwhelmed before I attended my first fiber festival. And if I'm correct, the first like true fiber festival I attended was the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in Rhinebeck, New York. And that is considered to be probably the largest, if not the largest, or one of the largest, if not the largest. And so if you are attending a fiber festival soon, I think it is worth kind of preparing yourself. It's just like anything. If you were going on a camping trip, you might watch a video about tips for new campers. So this is what I have for you today. And if you have ideas on topics that you'd like for me to discuss in future episodes, for topical episodes, please drop a comment below and let me know, and I'll see what I can do. So first and foremost, let's be real. You're going to a fiber festival to shop for fiber, whether it's yarn, a fleece, roving, knitting needles, crochet hooks, a swift, an e-spinner, a drop spindle, a wheel, a carder. I mean, there is so much that you can buy at a fiber festival, in addition to seeing the animals and talking with the dyers, designers, farmers, and all that goes into the fiber industry. So, since this is a shopping thing, make sure you bring both cash and a credit card. And I say this from both a shopper's point of view and a vendor's point of view. For me, when I shop in my day-to-day life, I really rarely carry cash. To me, it's just easier to carry one card and swipe it and get the points and be done. If it doesn't matter to you, some vendors do prefer cash, some vendors prefer credit card. I think if it doesn't matter to you, maybe ask the vendor, which do you prefer? Sometimes vendors have one price for cash and one price for credit card, just like gas stations these days. So something to bear in mind. And then that too, I think if you're bringing cash, that helps you think about what budget you have going into the event, which we all know that yarn shopping and budgets don't go together. But the reality is, I mean, the average shopper is not there to drop $100,000 on fiber. That's you. I don't even think you could cart that away in your tote bag. Speaking of tote bag, I recommend that if you are going to a fiber festival, you bring a tote bag. I've got one here myself. This is my little fiber festival um, shopping tote bag covered in some fiber swag, nice little pins. You can easily fold up a tote bag and stuff it either maybe into a backpack or a purse, or just keep it in your hand. At the festival I was vending it the other day, I actually have it right here. They were handing out tote bags at the registration table, which I thought was amazing. They had their corporate sponsor on there. They had the festival logo. Everyone had one of these. And honestly, I think as a vendor, that's a great idea. I only gave probably a handful of customers shopping bags for their purchases in my booth. And, you know, everybody was utilizing their tote bag. So that is a great idea. And like I said, maybe stuff a tote bag in a backpack, and I say a backpack so that your hand's free to shop and you've got a water bottle, maybe a snack bar, a protein bar, an apple, something to sustain you if you're in the middle of shopping, you get hungry, you get the munchies, you're getting hangry, and you don't want to stop shopping, you know, with the momentum that you have right now, or maybe what you're trying to look at, but you need something in your stomach right then. If you're like me, like I'm a muncher, I'm a snacker, I get low blood sugar really easily. I need to have a snack with me. So like you would if you had a small child with you, have your own personal diaper bag with your water, your snack, maybe you know, like a notepad and pen, maybe a list of patterns that you're shopping for. And I do recommend, if you're going to a festival, go through your Ravelry page, maybe pick out one or two projects that you want to shop for. That if you happen to find the right yarn, you know your yardage requirements, you know your weight, and maybe you've thought about like a particular color that you have in mind. For example, what I'm wearing, this is the Spark cardigan by Andrea Mowry. You can kind of see the color motif here. I knit this to wear to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in a few weeks. Just finished it. And what's great about it is this main color, this light gray, is my own hand dyed. I knew I wanted to use that as the main color. And then last year at Rhinebeck, I wanted to shop for the contrast yarn. So I had in mind that I wanted a hand dyed kind of color progressing yarn that would go with this light gray. So because I had that in mind and I had my yardage, I was good to go. I was shopping with a purpose. So that is another pro tip that I would offer you. Going back to the creature comforts of the water bottle and the snack and all that sort of thing, definitely wear comfy shoes. This is not the place to be wearing heels or anything where your feet are going to get tired. Think of it as if you were going to any sort of other festival where comfort is key. Another very important thing to bring is your patience. Sometimes, especially at larger festivals, you might be in line to check out for several minutes. You might be waiting to talk to the dyer or the farmer or whoever is working the booth about a question and wanting help, and they're tied up. So patience is pretty important. And that being said, a lot of vendors like myself are working their booth alone. They essentially can't step away for a bathroom break or a lunch break. And they are the chief cook and bottle washer, and they're doing the very best they can to help each and every customer, greet every customer, and create a welcoming environment. So that being said, since a lot of us are solo booth babes, we don't have support. Just a little bit of patience goes a long way from a vendor's perspective. Another really important thing that you can do to get prepared to attend a fiber festival is do your research. Go to the festival website. Is there a list of vendors? When you look through the list of vendors, maybe make a note of specific ones that pique your interest, that maybe you want to go to for a particular reason or a particular project or product. That way you can kind of map out your plan of attack as far as covering all your bases. At Rhinebeck, I like to walk up and down each booth, in and out. I cover, the big buildings first, and then the second day I do the smaller buildings, which raises another tip. If you are traveling to attend a fiber festival and the festival is, let's say it's typically they're like Saturday and Sunday or Friday, Saturday and Sunday, plan to go 2 days, maybe not all of both days. First day, kind of peruse things, get a feel, maybe make purchases of limited quantity hot items kind of thing. And then the next day, go back for those things that ruminated in your head overnight from the day before, and maybe spend a little more time. Typically, Sundays at fiber festivals are quieter, they're less busy. You can spend more time chatting with the vendors, kind of taking your time. And who wants to shop in like a frenzy, trying to see it all and do it all? Take your time, enjoy it. It is there to be enjoyed. And if you see things that you don't know what they are, or what they're for, ask. I mean, vendors are manning the booth wanting to tell you about the things that they've created, that they're passionate about, that they spend 40 or more hours a week working on. And so we want to educate the buyers about what it is that makes this thing great, what it is that sets this thing apart, how this tool will benefit your life and your crafting projects. We love to talk to customers. While most fiber people are introverts, festivals are really the time to make those connections, to chat, and then we go back home to our couches and knit and crochet and spin on our own. But at festivals, it's the time to come together. And so I think, come with an open mind and an open heart. Some of the best conversations I've ever had are on a deep personal level with customers where we've spent some time. We might start by chatting about a project, but then we talk about why they're making that project. And then it leads into, life story kind of moments. And I've cried and hugged and commiserated with customers in my booth. And it's like, you never know when a memory can be made in a booth. So I just encourage you to enjoy each moment, an opportunity for, a good memory. The last tip I think I have for you, if you get a full tote bag, take it back to the car, unload it. Keep your hands free and light so you're not feeling weighed down by your purchases if you have more shopping to do. Take a break, get a snack. If there are food trucks or maybe a cafe on site of some sort, take a lunch break. You'll feel so much more refreshed and refueled, and just you'll come back and enjoy the rest of the festival that much more. If you have a comment you would like to add, please feel free to drop it in the comment box below. Thanks for joining me for another episode of M1 Yarns and the Michigan Makers Podcast. And until next time, happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy spinning. And if I see you at a fiber festival, come up to me and say hi. I look forward to meeting you. All right, bye.